What if I told you that every dollar in your bank account is actually a piece of your life? Not just money, not just numbers, but hours of your time, your energy, your focus, and even your stress. Most people spend their entire lives chasing more money, believing that a higher salary will eventually make them happy. But despite earning more than previous generations, many people still feel stressed, trapped, and financially insecure. This is exactly the problem that Vicki Robin and Joe Dominguez explore in their groundbreaking book, Your Money or Your Life. This isn't a book about getting rich quickly. It's a book about understanding the true relationship between money and life, and using that understanding to achieve financial freedom and a more meaningful existence. Let's dive into the most important lessons from this life-changing book. Lesson 1. Money is life energy. The central idea of the book is simple, but powerful. Money is life energy. Think about it. When you go to work, you're not just earning money. You're spending hours of your life. You're using your energy, your skills, your attention, and your time. In exchange, you receive money. This means that every dollar you earn represents a portion of your life that you can never get back. The authors encourage readers to stop viewing money as just currency and start seeing it as stored life energy. This shift changes everything, because once you realize that money equals life energy, every spending decision becomes much more important. The question is no longer, can I afford this? Instead, the question becomes, is this worth exchanging a piece of my life for? Lesson 2. Calculate your real hourly wage. Most people don't know what they're truly earning. Let's say you make $5,000 per month. At first glance, that sounds straightforward. But the book argues that your real earnings are much lower than your paycheck suggests. Why? Because work involves more than the hours spent at your desk. You also spend time commuting, preparing for work, recovering from stress, buying work clothes, eating meals related to work. When all these hidden costs are included, your actual hourly wage may be far lower than you think. For example, after accounting for all work-related expenses and extra time commitments, you might discover that you're earning only $15 per hour instead of $25. Now imagine buying a $300 item. At $15 per hour, that purchase costs 20 hours of your life. Suddenly, spending money feels very different. Lesson 3. The trap of the rat race. One of the biggest problems in modern society is something known as the rat race. Here's how it works. You earn more money. Then you spend more money. Then your lifestyle becomes more expensive. Then you need even more money to maintain that lifestyle. So you work harder, earn more, spend more, and the cycle continues. The authors point out that many people spend decades trapped in this loop. Every raise leads to a bigger house. Every promotion leads to a more expensive car. Every bonus leads to new purchases. But despite earning more, they never feel financially free. The problem isn't income. The problem is that expenses rise along with income. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it keeps people working long after they actually need to. Lesson 4. Track every dollar. The authors recommend a simple but powerful habit. Track every dollar that enters and leaves your life. Many people avoid looking at their finances because they fear what they'll discover. But awareness is the first step toward freedom. When you track your spending honestly, patterns begin to appear. You may discover that you're spending hundreds of dollars every month on things that don't actually improve your happiness. You may realize that certain purchases provide only temporary satisfaction. Tracking isn't about restricting yourself. It's about understanding where your life energy is going. Because every dollar spent represents hours of your life. Lesson 5. Ask this life-changing question. The book introduces one of the most important questions you'll ever ask yourself. Did I receive fulfillment and value in proportion to the life energy I spent? In simple terms, was it worth it? Every purchase should be evaluated based on the amount of life energy required to earn that money. Maybe a vacation was worth every penny. Maybe a course helped you grow. Maybe a dinner with loved ones created meaningful memories. But maybe that expensive gadget didn't bring as much happiness as you expected. This question forces you to become intentional with your spending. Instead of buying automatically, you begin spending consciously. Lesson 6. Define what enough means. Most people spend their lives chasing more. More money, more possessions, more success, more status. But very few people ever stop and ask, how much is enough? Without a clear definition of enough, the finish line keeps moving. You believe you'll be happy when you earn a certain amount. Then you reach that number, and suddenly you want even more. This endless pursuit creates stress and dissatisfaction. The authors argue that true wealth begins when you define your personal version of enough. Because once you know what is enough, you can stop running and start living. Lesson 7. Financial independence is the real goal. The ultimate objective of the book isn't becoming rich. It's achieving financial independence. Financial independence means that your investments generate enough income to cover your living expenses. At that point, work becomes optional. You no longer need a paycheck to survive. You gain the freedom to choose how you spend your time. This doesn't mean you stop working. It means you work because you want to, not because you have to. And that freedom changes everything. The authors describe financial independence as one of the greatest forms of wealth a person can achieve. Because the most valuable asset isn't money, it's time. Lesson 8. Happiness doesn't come from more stuff. Modern culture constantly tells us that buying more things will make us happy. A new phone, a new car, a bigger house, a luxury watch. But the excitement never lasts. Psychologists call this phenomenon hedonic adaptation. We quickly get used to new possessions. What once felt exciting soon becomes normal. Then we start looking for the next thing to buy. And the cycle repeats. The authors argue that lasting happiness comes from different sources: strong relationships, good health, meaningful work, personal growth, purpose, and contribution. These things provide fulfillment long after the excitement of a purchase disappears. Lesson 9. Savings by freedom. Most people see saving money as sacrifice. The authors see it differently. They view savings as freedom. Every dollar saved is a small step toward independence. Every investment creates future options. Savings reduce stress. They provide security. And they allow you to make decisions based on what you truly want, not what you can afford. The more money you save and invest, the more control you gain over your life. Final conclusion. The greatest lesson of your money or your life is that wealth is not about having more money. It's about having more freedom, more control over your time, more alignment between your values and your spending, more awareness of how you use your life energy. Because in the end, money is renewable. You can always earn more, but time is not. Every purchase is an exchange between money and life. And the question this book wants you to ask is simple. Is this truly worth a piece of my life? Once you start asking that question consistently, your finances and your entire life may never look the same again. That's the powerful message of your money or your life.